don't call it a comeback. Call it a knockout. Call it putting somebody to sleep. Call it having supreme faith in yourself. Call it getting basically dismantled in the first round and still being the live betting favorite come round two. Not because you're winning the fight, but because people know what you are capable of. Ilia Topuria, maybe small in frame, small in stature, at 155 pounds, but the man is not a natural 155 pounder. He fights at 145 pounds. This has been his only UFC fight at 155. He's like 5'7", and his right hand probably has, 100 pounds of dynamite in that thing, man, because when he hit Jai Herbert, first he set it up beautifully with a left hook to the body, comes over the top with the right, eats his own shot, but when his landed, man, it just goes to show there's a little bit of a power difference here. AJ, before we talk about in-depth on Ilia Topuria getting this massive knockout, how impressed were you with Jai Herbert? I have to say this is the best performance I have seen to date of him, and this is what we saw in Cage Warriors. Him being a champion in Cage Warriors, this was a performance reminiscent to that. Obviously, this is against one of the best in the world to do it. Look at the number discrepancy, 56 versus around roughly number 16 for Ilia Topuria. The point here is that Jai Herbert, I think, regardless of the big knockout, regardless of the propensity to get basically touched up and dropped in the third round of fights that you're winning. I don't know why this happens to him, but basically he's winning, or second, third round, but you get touched and it's game over. How impressed were you with this, man? He's going to stick around in the UFC. I'm convinced of it. What do you think?
Even with the KO loss and the devastating KO loss, I still think Jai Herbert's stock grew. Like that first head kick that Ilia Topuria ate, and credit to Topuria because that was shin to chin, the way Bisping said, man, that was so clean too. Set up with the hands, and then right as Topuria is dipping down, he kicks him right in the face. Van, very impressive for Herbert, bro. He was looking sharp, he was looking clean, and to me, this was just a match of touch him up versus put a hole through someone's face. And unfortunately, Topuria, like you said, he has a 100-pound stick of dynamite in his hand, ready to pop whenever. And unfortunately for Herbert, kind of felt it in that second round, man. He was looking good, though. Crisp, clean, head moving, looking nice, hands flowing, moving in and out, really controlling the fight, making it a Herbert-style fight. And like you said, this is what we saw back in the day, man, from Herbert. So I think both of their stocks grew. Obviously, Topuria is a little bit more, but I think Herbert showed that he's a real deal, man. He's a contender in this division, and he can fight different types of fights too, man. Whether it's on the inside, the outside, whatever it is, this dude can crack you from any spot. Yeah. Always a very dangerous opponent, but Ilia Topuria has just got that bomb on him.
Not just that, but what is the other downfall with the Jai Herbert? Take him to the ground, things start getting a little fishy. Now, he was able to stand back up against Topuria, but, I mean, we've seen it against Renato Moicano. We've seen it against, a couple different people that's the kryptonite. So we need to see a more well-rounded approach. But either way, Ilia Topuria maintains a perfect record, brother. He moves 4-0 in the UFC. 11 of his 12 wins are via finish, which is more impressive than anything else that you can say on that one. Now, what's apt that we need to talk about here, AJ, is his post-fight comments for Ilia Topuria. Now, they say, listen, brother, you just won. You just had a devastating knockout. What do you want next? And he says, I want the blonde bitch. That's it. Basically, he literally cut a promo, but I honestly think that Paddy Pimblett gained the most out of his pre-fight speech right there, if that's what you want to call it. I think that he should have took the approach that he took in the actual post-fight presser when you do the media after, when you're all showered and cleaned up, and he could say, you know what, man, I'm really happy right now. I don't even want to waste any energy on that dude. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the approach that he should have taken. Either way, people want to see the Paddy fight versus Topuria. Now they ask, hey, do you think this can actually happen? And he says, the only way this will happen is if Dana White forces him with a gun to his head to fight me, because he's scared. He's not going to fight me. Let's be honest, AJ. We saw Kazula drop Paddy Pimblett with one shot. If Ilia Topuria hit Paddy with that right hand he hit Herbert with, I think he's vanquishing him to the Shadow Realm too, brother. What do you think about this potential matchup? Will it ever happen? And if it does happen, who is going to be favored to win the fight?
If it happens, I think it's going to happen in a couple years. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to lose some steam for it. Maybe we might see, the replay later on. I don't think for what apparently Paddy's getting paid. Mm-hmm. I don't think he wants that Ilia Topuria smoke, man. Yeah. Not at all. I think Ilia Topuria is still the favorite in that one, even if it goes to the ground, because Topuria is a great wrestler, man. Mm-hmm. Let's not forget, he's still very good on the ground. I think that's a very challenging fight for Paddy. Would he be game? Sure, yeah, probably, and probably even more game in the streets. where he doesn't have to risk it all, risk his fame and everything else. But at this exact moment, man, I think Topuria would be the favorite, and that's a hard fight.
That's a hard fight, but we'll see what happens. He set it up, but for now, let's just bask in the victory that is awarded to Ilia Topuria, my man. That's another knockout in the books. He does it. This one was touch and go. He was a little surprised by the speed and by the movement of Jai Herbert, but that's why you can never underestimate your opponent, and that is why there were the rumors of, are these guys focused? They're worried about each other, but they need to get past their own opponents. This weekend, he got the job done at UFC London. You'd love to see it, folks.